What's going on, beautiful people out there? This is Sixth Scale Symposium, episode 30. We got a lot of fun stuff, big stuff going on this past week. And I don't know if you guys heard, but maybe InArt had like a showcase event. So maybe we'll talk about that. My friend to my right, is Fab's Figures.
Don't hesitate saying that word. Unbelievable.
Left or right? I don't know.
No,
We were supposed to have Ty from Uncommon Flex on as well, but he actually had a family emergency today. So it is just going to be the intimate company of Fab's Figures. Fabs, how you doing tonight, sir?
what's up? Thank you for having me, Ty. Feel better. Hope everything works out.
All right. So yeah, we're going to talk about a lot of fun stuff as always tonight. We're going to talk about a couple figures, or maybe at least one figure, maybe the Blurg that was released, InArts, and our thoughts on the figures, and kind of what we think we can expect from InArts as a company in the 1/6 scale market. And then I want to talk about something from last week that we didn't have time to get through, and it was seasons of collecting. So like, just want to talk to Fabs and you guys in the chat about, do you ever have different seasons of collecting? Maybe you kind of cool off a little bit. Maybe you go for something else. Maybe money is a little bit more of an issue. So we're going to talk about that stuff. And then future display goals. What do we want to do with our displays, and what are our goals for the future? And then we're going to cap off the night with some Hot Toys verses. And I have made all new figure verses for you tonight, Fab. So we don't have to do any kind of retreads or anything like that.
Yeah.
But before we get too far into that, I want to check in to the chat and see who we have. So give me a holler if you're out there. They call me Queso Blanco.
Queso, come on, man.
Queso.
Come on, man. Don't do this.
I'm very American. I'm sorry. He says, yeah, me too. I'm not sure what that means, but yeah. All right.
It means I am white cheese.
Interesting. Very interesting. We have Knight in the house. He says hello. Daniel SC in the house. Hello there, sir. He said that he's had this up since yesterday. If I had an award for Jedi Knights Watch diehard fan of the year, it would be Daniel. There's a lot of you out there, but man, this guy takes the cake. So he definitely has to maintain his hardcore status. We got Andrew James in the house. Andrew, we need you to take a day off of work so that you can stay up late, get on our stream, talk figures. We're looking for good people. So come on, man.
Yeah, come on,
Done it once, you can do it again.
Don't be lazy. Come on.
I know you're tired, but let's go. We got Fab's Figures. Fabs was shaving, so calm down, everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Boba Fettuccine. Hello, people. Hello, cool people. What the Blurg is happening? Oh, we're going to talk about that Blurg in a little bit. We got Bobby Ray in the house. What's up, Bobby?
Bob.
Fabs again. And yeah, you guys are just talking amongst yourselves in the chat. So thank you guys again for watching. Let's just jump right into it, Fabs. We had, was it like over the weekend or Friday, we had the Blurg that was released.
Look at that thing.
The Blurg and Durasteel Mando. So obviously right off the bat, we know that some people missed out on Durasteel Mando. So this is kind of your opportunity to somehow get your hands back on him. Can you refresh me on the price of the Blurg combo?
Give you the
have that off the top of your head?
Absolutely. Not off the top of my head, but I got the invoice right in my face. It was $555 each, and I purchased two of them. Don't forget.
So you can have like a little Blurg couple in your little display, and they can make babies and have a family.
Yep.
So good for you. Now, can I ask you what's your thought process on getting the two?
Just what I usually do. Same thing with Quill. I got two Quills with the Blurg as well, so it's just just because that's what I usually do. And I just had a feeling. I usually would get the multiples to be able to hold on to them, but now with the raffles, they're just going to be added to the raffle. So you guys are going to look out for $20 a spot, and you may win if you play.
Unless you're like me, who've played and not won, and then you just get really salty.
and never played again.
Oh hell, put me down for 2 spots. Yeah, you lost. All right, I'm done. So this to me kind of looks like a piranha.
Yes,
You see that?
I said it
It's
looks
like
like I said it looks like a sperm cell with feet with legs.
I mean, I can get why people would want this because it's not. I guess you'd say it's a figure, but it's kind of like not a figure, but it's not like a vehicle. It's like an interesting Star Wars creature that we don't really get a lot of. You know, they don't make just a lot of like creatures, so it's pretty cool. It's pretty a unique piece that you can get, and you can get the Durasteel Mando, which does it would surprise me if people are buying this set to get their hands back on Durasteel Mando though, because I don't think he's going for that much on the secondary market. I think he's like in the 2 to maybe 300 range tops.
I know that a lot of people have the option to get just the Blurg, but I think that anybody who bought the double pack was for that reason exactly, to get the OG Mando, which is smart. I mean, it was a good idea on their part to do that combo.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Hot Toys is always thinking that in that aspect. They're not just going to reissue Durasteel Mando. They're going to make you, you know, kind of get both or pay, you know, up the rear end to get this guy again. So um I think it looks good. I mean, Durasteel Mando, it's going to be pretty much a reissue though. I don't, you know, there's nothing different if I'm correct. It's just put them in the box with a blurg and ship them out, right?
Yeah,
Let's see.
he's going for 235 plus shipping, 319, so not terribly
Yeah.
expensive. Yeah.
So I mean, so if you are out there and you're just getting them just for the reason that you missed out on Mando, I mean, if you have no interest in the blurg, you can still get your hands on this Mando. It's not like he's gone and his
Right.
price is through the roof. So I do. What do you? I don't want to change gears here too much, but which Mando do you prefer? The Durasteel or the Beskar?
See, I like them both because they're different. I mean, I like the Beskar just because it's more uniform. You got that shiny, you know, color on it. So I love that, and now we're getting, with the chrome, that's gonna be even nicer, with that extra shine on it. But this is the original. So the original always has, that you always become, have that attachment to that, original suit. That's why it's still so popular. You know what I mean? People who missed it still want to get it. If people didn't really care about that, they would just say, like they usually do with Hot Toys in general, they would just say, forget the old one, let me just go with the new one because it's better. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the the original suit has its little appeal. So I think that's why it's still very sought after.
Well, I think I do prefer the Durasteel. I think he's got like a slimmer look and it just has more character. But I do have the Beskar, so take that for what it's worth. But I don't
You
know.
think he's like actually thinner, or you think maybe because of the shine of the Beskar makes him look a little bulkier? Or do you think they use a different body for it?
I think it's just the look because the
Brown.
armor on the Beskar makes the cape stick up a little bit more, so it looks like less of a neck.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, so it looks bulkier.
Yeah, and I think maybe some of this armor is just not as like wide or as bulky, but I think it's the same body.
Yeah.
And then you got the Blurg here, who's just like, take my strong hand. Oh man. Bobby Ray says it's taller, is way more posability to sit on the Blurg. Oh, and the clothes are a tighter fit. I
So
wonder if there's still a fat suit on there.
it's a 2.0 then? It can't be. There's no way they're going to make a 2.0 with the Blurg.
He said it's damn near a 2.0.
It's I mean, it's
Maybe
possible. I'm not
maybe
saying
they fixed some stuff.
but I think they would have definitely, if that was the case, I think they would have definitely mentioned,
Advertised it.
Yeah, absolutely. Any updates, because that makes people say, you know what? Let me get the 2.0 then. You know what I mean? I think, again, and I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying I think they would have used that to their advantage.
Capitalize on it. Yeah.
Yeah, when advertising for this figure, because people again, oh, I could get a TMS 007 2.0,
Boba Fettuccine has the Durasteel waiting for the Chrome Beskar. That does look pretty cool. I hope it's as shiny as I'm thinking.
It's gonna be. It's gonna be. You know what it's gonna be like? It's gonna be. I mean, now that we have the two different types of chrome, we have the Clone Trooper chrome, and then we have the Stormtrooper chrome, which are two different chromes. I think it's gonna be Stormtrooper chrome because it's got to have that shine. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I even think that shine is like too much, so I think it's got to be somewhere in between those two. But either way, with the head sculpt, I think a lot of people are just going to display with the head sculpt because that's like what's been missing.
We got Doug Collector in the house. What's going on, my friend? He says Blurg is massive. And that kind of brings me to my next point is, how are you going to display this guy? How are you specifically, Fabs, going to display this guy? He's going to be tall.
Yeah.
And with that tail, he's going to be very, very wide or very deep.
Well, he's going on top of a detail somewhere. And I have the perfect spot right over here because it's actually going to be, his tail is going to end up facing a second detail. Like it's going to be, floating on top of a second detail. So thank God I have the space for that. But yeah, this would be perfect for a DF-120, what do you call it, module case.
So, or because even if you took a shelf out of a DTOF, I don't think it's going to
because the depth
because of that tail.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think it's going to limit the audience that's going to be buying this. A, for the price. B, for how are we going to, how am I going to put this in my display? Would love to hear from you guys who are getting this. What you're thinking of how you're going to display it, because it's almost got to be a piece that's on its own. Just because of space issues. So that'll be interesting to see. I'll be wanting to see it in people's collections when they do like the tours and stuff, because it'd be interesting.
Yeah, the tail. If the tail was a little bit shorter, I think it would actually look real nice, next to him on a detail shelf. But it's way too long. It wouldn't fit.
Duck Collector's asking if it's 24 inches tall.
I went through the what do you call it? The height of it yesterday. Let me see if I could get you the exact blur. The height is, where is it? The height is 37 centimeters, which is where is it? 14.5 inches. Yep.
Oh, so 14 inches.
Yeah.
For just the Blurg.
Just the Blurg, 14.5.
Probably another 5 to 6 with him sitting on it. So
and then yeah.
Plus you need some headroom. So yeah, you're gonna need like 20, 21 inches to display this guy with some headroom. So that'll be
it's 23.62 wide and deep is 9.45. Yep.
That's like 2 DTOFs together. That's like basically the Bat Pod.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Bat Pod wide.
Super fat.
Yeah. Cool.
It doesn't look like it would be that wide though, if you really look at it.
So you said 14 inches tall for just the Blurg, right?
14.5, yep.
So if you have a module case, you can put the Blurg kind of sideways without anybody on it and display it with your figures. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit tricky, so just keep that in mind.
Even with the DF-120?
In the 6 series, you'll be able to fit it.
In the
so
6,
the smaller ones, yeah,
right. And the 6 would be, you said sideways, right? You can't be facing.
I mean, angled a little bit.
His face won't be facing the glass forward, right? Can't.
Not face on, but like kind of at the side a little bit, so like kind of angled. And you won't be able to put a person on it if you have 6 series. Andrew says it's not a problem because he ain't getting it. Me neither, man. Me neither. Because Fabs is getting enough for both of us.
Yeah, well, play the raffle. You may win one.
For us DTOF folks, it's destined to sit on top. Yep. Daniel's getting it, of course, because he gets everything Star Wars, but he has no idea where he's going to display it. And I get it. Some people are like, don't care. I'll figure that out when I get it. I get that. So I'm a
Yeah,
little bit more of a planner, but if you're getting it,
especially
you're getting it.
especially pieces like that, like you mentioned earlier. It's not something common that we get. It's a hybrid between a vehicle and what do you call it? And an alien, and a creature. So it's kind of hard to, and we're probably going to get more of these anyway. You know what I mean? It's not like they'll never make this again. But when to have it first, to be able to display it first is kind of cool.
Yeah. Daniel he's got room on top of his refrigerator. Perfect.
Yeah. The only thing with the refrigerators, they get so dusty.
Yeah, that's true.
So dusty. And I know that for a fact because look behind me. Look what's behind me.
It's man fridge.
I have a bunch of stuff up there, and stuff. It's not Hot Toys, but when I dust, forget it.
So yeah, that's the Blurg. The base looks pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a cool base.
Like the little diorama base.
The base is just makes it like another 2 to 3 inches taller.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if you're gonna use the base,
Yeah,
you gotta think about that. I like this picture with the natural lighting.
That was the first picture you pulled up. The other one, not this one, but it was outside. It looked beautiful.
Yeah. They should do more of this when they release figures. Do more like the natural lighting.
So real. Look at that.
I'm kind of surprised they don't. Because this looks like just images of Mando on a Blurg.
Looks like it's part of the show.
Yeah.
Look at that. So sick. That Blurg looks so realistic, man. Look at the eyes. Looks really nice.
Man, looking at that Mando, I'm just like, I should sell mine and get this one again. Damn it.
What do you mean? You don't have this?
I used to.
What happened?
We sold it to get my Beskar.
Oh, you didn't want to keep this one instead?
That's a good figure too, though. You know me. You know me. If it's not Batman or Joker, I just don't like to
have multiple.
I don't like to have too many duplicates just for money and space.
Even if they're two completely different suits.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's for a reason I don't get a bunch of Iron Man figures and.
But no, that's different. I understand that because you would have 50 Iron Man if that was the case. But
right,
like, how many Mandalorians can you really get?
Oh, they're gonna squeeze this. They're gonna keep making more and more. Look at that. They're already doing the chrome. We got the normal Beskar. We got the Durasteel.
Well, season 3, you're gonna get a new one.
Yep, you get another one. So they're gonna milk this. You get a Yoda, baby Yoda with every figure. Oh, he's sleeping. He's sleeping on the ground. What's going on?
You're gonna get a black chrome. You're gonna get a black chrome one.
Yeah, dude. That's probably gonna come like more variants of Mando because
of course. 100%.
I mean, it's like your stormtroopers. Why and Boba Fett. So why don't we do it with Mando too if people like it? So yeah, that'll be coming. This is cool. Wow.
No, that looks awesome. That looks realistic. Very real.
I wonder if they modified the fat suit. I'm sure it's still there, but
for more posability.
Yeah. Oh, the pants look baggy. Guess they are in that one too.
No, they always were baggy. They weren't tight.
Ooh, armored Blurg. What's up, like Valiant Archer?
Battle Cat.
Valiant Archer. He says the outdoor photos look great too. Yeah, man. They should do more of this. It's natural lighting is always the best.
That's got to be a GoPro. That looks beautiful. See, I think the best pictures are taken with the black background. It doesn't matter what pictures you're taking of what item with the black background, they just look incredible.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, you'll have to do a review on yours when you get it.
Yeah, it'll be my first review.
So the first one was not a wired cape, and this still doesn't look like it, but they do have some motion going here. I wonder.
A fan.
If that's just. Yeah, because that's not wired.
Yeah, that's not wired. Look how it hangs. And where are they gonna put the wire? Nowhere.
I bet there's a hand right outside of the picture here, just holding that up.
Yeah. No, you probably have a little.
It's probably true.
A little one of these. Look. One of these just holding it from afar.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A little C clamp.
We got Beskar Kid in the house. He says yes, it's a slightly thinner figure.
Beskar Kid is alive. My God,
And well.
I haven't seen that guy in like 4 months. It's probably leg day.
Leg month.
Leg year.
That sounds like leap year, but yeah. Valiant Archer said that Sideshow said on their Unsealed and revealed that the figure seems slimmer, either tailoring or remove the fat suit.
Yeah, probably to be able to mount the blurg.
Right. We got Commander Green in the house. What's up, gentlemen? What is up, sir? Thanks for joining us. Yeah, and I think a lot of people like those shots outside, so maybe that's something that they can continue to do. It just, I think it just adds to the figure. Not taking anything away from these, they still look good. So, anything else that you want to finish off with Mando and the Blurg?
Look at that! Look at the little Yoda. Does that come with the thing with the double pack? No, I don't think. No, does it?
Doesn't it?
I don't know, because that would be. I just bought that whole that whole Grogu,
The standalone.
Yeah, and if that's the case, I just wasted $20.
Oh, how do you spell Blurg?
BLURRG.
So
yeah, check it, because I don't think it does, and if it does, I had no idea. Told you. I told you.
You're good. You're good. They're just throwing stuff at you there.
No, I was like, what? I was like, what did I? Yeah, no, I didn't think it did, because I wouldn't have gotten the that pack, that Grogu pack.
I think Sideshow's just saying the same figure is different just to sell this product. I mean, it's probably like you said, Hot Toys would have promoted that it was different, but they probably did a little bit of just tailoring or maybe fat suit adjustments just to make sure that he would be able to bend enough to get him onto the Blurg and look natural. And it could just be a couple like cuts to the fat suit. I mean, we've seen people do it on YouTube where they left the fat suit on, but they just cut it in certain spots. I mean, I don't think you'd have to promote something like that, but I mean, who knows?
No, they would. I think they would have 100%, because again, they're making you think that it's a brand new figure, and not even a brand new figure, but it's a modified figure. So they would have definitely let us know. Listen, we did this different. We did this for better. This. Oh, believe me, they would have shoved that in our faces again to make it more appealing for people to get it, even if they have it already. You want something? Oh, it's modified. It's better. I'll sell my old one and get the new one. You know what I mean? So they would have definitely said that to us, 100%.
Right. So they think the Mando's thinner as well. So yeah, we'll see. I guess something's gotta be different. But I forgot to throw up my ticker here, so I'm just gonna do that. And then so yeah, that's pretty much the only thing that's been released recently. Hopefully Hot Toys starts coming out with some more stuff that they can get into our hands so that we can have more stuff to collect and whatnot. But I want to now shift gears to the InArt showcase and our thoughts mainly about the figures. Let me pull this up quick. Is that your dog barking?
Yeah.
How unprofessional can you be?
I guess he's somebody's outside, so he's going nuts.
All right, so InArt had their Las Vegas showcase for the. Okay, I'm gonna try to get this right, and Fabs, correct me here, because I've heard it both ways. So I've heard it being called a prototype. I've heard it being called final images. Is it just the final images for the Joker, and the rest of the figures that they showed are prototypes?
So what I understand is whatever pictures you got from I guess his website or his review or whatever were the prototype images. Whatever they showed on their website, on their group, it was they had a little video with a ton of them shown. That's what we're getting. But the single images that you got from his review were the prototype, because he even mentions, I got to be careful with this because it's the prototype. So
Yeah, so the photos here that I do have, I want to give credit to Justin's collection. They are from his channel. He was given the opportunity to work with InArt Queen Studios to review these. So good for him. He's hustling. He's doing what he's got to do to get content out there. So I'm going to use his pictures and give him credit for it. And dude, this Joker, I mean, I know you had some mixed feelings from the pictures you saw, but to me, I think it looks insanely good.
well, again, some pictures looked great, some didn't. But again, it's just pictures, lighting affects everything. Not everybody takes the same, angled pictures, the same great pictures. So it's just what we're seeing. But again, you can't really say anything until it's in your hand and you're looking
Right.
at it and you see, what the actual thing is.
And I know there's critics out there that, maybe Queen Studios has not done the best job of, maybe the business tactics haven't been the best, but I think it's important, at least for me, if it's something I want to buy, I'll buy it. And that's what's important to me, I guess. Like, I understand, like, Hot Toys has more of a history of this kind of stuff, and they've kind of got their routine down in how they do business and whatnot. And Queen has done business as well, but this is their first experience with 1/6. This is the first figure coming out, so there's a lot riding on it. Technically, they're not licensed to sell in the US yet, so I mean, there's a lot of loopholes or things kind of up in the air. But I mean, just looking at these pictures, I'm definitely interested. I'm not going to be buying a lot of figures from InArt because I do feel like they're extra high end. Like, we think of Hot Toys as high end figures. I think of InArt as like extremely high end because of that price that you have to pay. So, what are your thoughts on that topic? Like, is if the Joker is something that comes out and it's like it blows you away, are you going to keep buying from InArt, or are you just going to see how it goes, or you're just, no, I'm just going to get these and be done?
No, after what I spoke about on my stream yesterday, I pre-ordered two double packs of the sculpted version, and so far, and also the Pennywise version B, I believe, the one with the crazy hair and the crazy eyes, not the one that looks like the Hot Toys one. And I'm done. Just because of my own personal views about the company in general, but not because of the product. Like I said yesterday, they could at some point, just like Hot Toys has done over the years, they could really get really, really good. They could improve. They could get better and better and better, which is what we would hope as collectors and as customers. But because of what they did, and the way they went about it, I'm done with the company, just for good. After I get those pieces, and I don't cancel them because I order from Kit Chen, and I would never place an order with him just to cancel it, especially for something personal like that. You know what I mean? So it's not his fault. So I'm going to honor my orders, and then I'm done after that. They could make the best product in the world next year, and it wouldn't even faze me.
Well, I mean, and we talked about on this stream back months ago too, but it was a 72-hour pre-order for the Rooted Hair Joker, and then all of a sudden they just opened it back up, and they pretty much were flat out.
It's still up for pre-order right now.
Right. Yeah. And they pretty much were lying to us, saying like, oh no, that's not because we did, that's just on their end, or it was a lot of finger pointing. So there has been some shady stuff, but however, I am still blown away by the figure itself. Like, I think the Rooted Hair looks really good, but I think the sculpted hair looks just fine for me. Like, I cannot fathom paying $1,000 for the Rooted Hair. Did you got sculpted, right?
Both sculpted, 2 sets, yeah.
And everybody makes their own decisions, and I'm perfectly fine with whichever one you got. But for me, I can't justify spending that much more for the Rooted Hair. So
I would
I
never.
I went with the sculpted hair as well, and I think it looks much improved to like what Hot Toys has done. Granted, Hot Toys is what 10, 12 years old, so can't really compare it, but I still think it looks overall pretty good, pretty natural. But yeah, the rooted
As
hair
it
does look
should,
really good too.
as it should, because you would want, obviously, like you said, if Hot Toys has been, Hot Toys' Joker has been out for that long already, you would expect another company getting into the game that is, been so highly praised at this point that their product, at least should look better
Right.
than Hot Toys, again, because of the amount of years that have, gone by in between. But just wait till Hot Toys comes out with theirs.
Well, let's just jump right into that then. So here's the three together. So on the left is the one that comes with the jail cell, and he's got kind of like a smirk, and then the middle is the standing Joker, probably my favorite one. And that rooted hair does look pretty good, I will
You got
admit.
a double
And
pack?
then
You said you got a double pack, or you just got a
I did,
single?
yeah. I
Oh,
got the
okay.
double pack.
Okay.
And then you do have the Hot Toys version, which was really good in its day. Again, you can't really compare the three, but it is nice to just still see them side by side, so you can kind of see, the differences from over time. So my theory here, and I know what you're gonna say already, but I'm gonna say it anyway. My theory is before the InArt gets like released to ship, that Hot Toys drops their, I guess you'd call it 3.0 Joker, and kind of says, well, there. And then a bunch of people are blown away, and then a bunch of people maybe jump ship from InArt and, go back to Hot Toys. What do you think about that? Do you think we could get a Hot Toys drop of the Joker before the end of the year?
Before the end, I mean, we could. It's always a possibility. I mean, I think, and I've said this, a billion times already, for months now. I think that they're gonna hold the Joker for last. I think, we got Catwoman coming. We still have, Batman Begins suit to be released. We have, then it's Catwoman. We still got Bane, and I think they're gonna save the best for last. So can they? I mean, they would have to give us, at least a tease of Bane first, and then announce the Joker right after. So if Bane doesn't come before that, I don't think he's going to come this year at all. And
So
you would think like out of like just competition, like oh here's ours, but I don't think I always say I don't think Hot Toys really cares for that. And if anything, now seeing InArts, it'll give them more time to make theirs even better. And
right.
so so it's just
I guess the only reason I think of maybe getting it out sooner, and I know you've said like Hot Toys doesn't care. They don't give a shit about InArt. It's like a fly to them on the wall. It's just, maybe a little annoying, but, just brush it
right.
away. So I guess my only thing is, would it hurt Hot Toys sales if people already like double down and get these 2 packs, or, get these expensive figures? Are they going to be able to get the Hot Toys one right away? Or does it just cause everybody to sell it on the secondary market, and then everybody's losing money, and then the value of this 2 pack or the figure itself just tanks? I mean, that could be something too that happens eventually.
Well, you would assume that a brand new company like this, their first figure wouldn't be mass produced. You know what I mean? You don't want them to make so many. So I know, plenty of people probably got multiples, two, three, two, expecting that they're gonna sell out and um and they're going to be able to make money, whether it's on eBay or reselling or whatever. The problem with that is they're already showing you prototypes. Okay, they're already showing you prototypes. They're already showing you a whole lineup of plenty of them, and they're still up for pre-order. What does that mean? It means they're going to get plenty of pre-orders, and you're going to have the people who are going to wait until the last second to get theirs once there's actual reviews from maybe not this guy but other people that they really like to review their stuff, to get really more pictures, more different angles, more this, more that. So I think it's gonna backfire for those trying to do business with them, because again, the whole point was that 2-day to 3-day pre-order window, and then boom, that's it. I
Right.
think that would have made it a huge deal, because after that pre-order window was closed, then you had everybody just, man, that's it. Did you get one? No, man, I'm gonna have to pay, double, triple when it's out.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna happen. So it may be, it may backfire.
Well, and it's sad because I do like how the figure looks. I do like some of the innovative techniques they've used for the figure itself as well. I really like the magnetic base. I know that's not for everybody because, like, especially people that live on the coast with like maybe earthquakes or something like that. But that's something that I've always liked, like not seeing the crotch grabber, just like a base that works itself into the scene of the figure. So I'm really excited about that. But then also too, like the magnetic pegs. This seems like a really cool idea that hopefully they stick on there well enough. But the fact that you're not going to be like trying to get the pegs out and then oh, I pulled the whole peg out or I busted the peg and stuff like that gets annoying. So there is a lot that I like about it, but in the end, for me, I can't justify paying these extremely high prices for these nice figures. Like, I mean, Hot Toys itself is already like borderline a lot of money for me. So, um, I don't think I'll be purchasing these as much, and I wonder how it's going to work for them because pretty much everything that they're doing has been done by Hot Toys, except for the Gandalf, which we'll look at in a couple minutes. But so it's all kind of like things that Hot Toys have already done, which I get if it's an older figure and they're making it look better, great. But they only have the Warner Brothers line, so they can also only do so much at this point. It's going to be interesting to see how they survive and if they survive in the 1/6 scale market.
This is the first time I'm seeing this picture. When people were talking about, magnetic pegs, I thought they were talking about the prison Joker's forearm, to get those
That too.
So Hot Toys has done that, in the past with Iron Man and stuff like that. These pegs, though, I haven't seen. Like I said, this is the first time I'm seeing these pictures because I really, I don't watch reviews and I don't, go on people's pages to look at this stuff. But let me tell you something. If they don't do or they don't glue these magnets properly, it's going to be a huge issue. You want to know why?
That's a good point. Yeah, because they'll get stuck inside.
Correct. And then to be able to get that out of that small slot, you're going to need tweezers, and you're going to need the tiniest tweezers to be able to get in there and hope that it's not too deep where you could actually get it. So that could backfire if they don't do the job properly.
That's a good point. It's a good point. Fair point. So, any other thoughts on the Jokers?
No,
I still think this looks great, though.
No, yeah, out of the two, I mean, they look in some pictures not good. Some pictures they look great. Like right here, that one in the middle looks the best. The one on the left looks great.
The one on the right looks the worst.
Well, compared to the Hot Toys now, these are like a 10 out of 10. Like
right,
it's like a 7. But again,
I really think the Hot Toys sculpt still looks great. Maybe the paint applications could be updated, and then obviously I think the hair really dates it.
I think it's the impression that he's making, and that's making it look weird. You know what I mean? It's that face. It's not that it's a bad job. It's not that they did it wrong. It's not that it doesn't look good. It's just when you have, the one in the middle with this badass, look, and then you have the one, on the left, which is, a more Jokerish, face, and then you got the one on the right with this odd expression. It's like it just looks weird. You know what I mean? Not that it's a bad job, it just looks weird. It doesn't compare to the other two. But when it comes to quality, when it comes to workmanship, it's perfect. There's no complaints about Hot Toys. But again, just wait until Hot Toys makes their updated one, their 3.0. And I've said this again multiple times. I have a feeling we're getting multiples. They're most likely going to be if we got a DX19. Believe me, we're probably going to get another DX. We may get a regular purple coat. We may get a Nurse Joker.
That'd be cool.
Get, maybe a double pack. like we have in the past with the policeman Joker and the other, the regular Joker. So huge possibilities for the future. But again, just wait until it's their turn to make their new Joker, and you're really gonna compare.
So Bobby Ray says one and done in art for me. I'll take my Joker and be on my way. The way they do business, I'll be interested to see if they're still in business in a few years. Well, what's interesting to me though is they've been doing statues for a while. So, I mean, they've been in business for a bit. I
Yeah,
don't.
but you have to understand too, though. There may be not as many people collecting statues, so that's why you don't really hear much about their business, how they
True.
deal, how they deal with the statue side. You know what I mean?
That's a
So
good point.
now that we are directly involved with the 1/6, now we're hearing how they are with the 1/6. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that could be it. We don't know.
That's a good point. I'm impressed by the R&D put into this thing. It seems to be engineered well. Can't wait to see it in person. I'm excited too. If it's as advertised, I mean, I will still say the rooted hair looks better, but I still think this looks really good. And for the money, I would still go with the sculpted hair. So
Yeah, no, the rooted looks great. There's nothing wrong with the root. At least from now, at least what we're seeing now, the rooted. I never had a complaint about rooted. Just I'm not spending that money for rooted anything.
And this is a great point by Boba here. Is as great as these figures look, I don't think the price point is going to allow InArt to be sustainable. And that's still what I'm trying to figure out is what audience they're really targeting, because
it's a money grab.
Because Hot Toys isn't even
and
close to these price points. Like we'll get to the Pennywise in a minute, but I'm thinking 267 for Pennywise, or what, 500-600 for theirs, and I'm just thinking it's a no-brainer.
So I think, again, I've said this in the past forever. It's a money grab. It's to see who falls for those prices. It's to see rooted anything. Hot Toys gives you a rooted hair for figures in the past multiple times. They don't go anywhere near this price point at all for one figure. I feel like what they're doing is, again, they're throwing prices out there and saying who wants this, whoever wants it is going to pay for it. They don't have the fact that they use Viper's name as overseeing the project. That doesn't
Laser.
that doesn't mean anything. You know what I mean? It means nothing at all because Viper's not doing it. And if you know Viper's work, then you'll be like, wow, he's involved with the rooting, so it must be amazing. You don't know that. So that's how I think they're trying to play people with the whole rooting thing. But again, those price points, and you can't even talk about licensing because Hot Toys is licensed worldwide. They're not. They're licensed Asia only. So how are they more expensive? How are they more expensive in general than a Hot Toy? Because it's all about money, and they're seeing who's falling for it, and a lot of people are.
Well, they also showed us the Batman, the Pattinson Batman, with his magnetic base and his armor. I love the color tones here. I love the look of the Batman. It looks great. Now, this is definitely, as Justin said, this is a prototype. They're still working on stuff. The cape, there's things that aren't all here, but you can get a look at what InArt is going to look like here. And my pictures got out of order. Mother beep. Here's another one. But you just, like, the likeness is there. But again, for the price point, do you see much of a difference between this and like Hot Toys version?
Well, if you compare them side by side, you're definitely going to see differences, big differences. Like, for example, this one looks very pale. His face looks very, very pale. And I don't know if it's because, again, the white background that doesn't, do it justice. But you put this next to Hot Toys and you're going to see huge differences. Like this suit, I think that the Hot Toy suit is a lot darker than this.
Yep.
This has a different
that I would agree with.
Yeah, this has a different tone of gray, a lot lighter. I think the Hot Toys one's material looks like it would be a different material than this. This looks like it would be more metallic. The Hot Toys one looks like it would be more padding than anything, so there's a lot of differences. Just you're not going to see them unless you have them side by side. Even
Right.
in pictures, you'll see the difference.
But like if I look at this and then I go look at the Hot Toys one, I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I can just really see InArt is just
No,
couple hundred
correct,
worth it,
correct, correct. It's not like you're going to be like, wow, this is so much better than Hot Toys. No, that'll never happen.
I mean, I'll admit, if I look at this, it looks like I'm looking at an image of Pattinson from the movie. Like it looks fantastic. I love the dry brushing on the bat logo. I love the coloration of the armor. The detail looks great. The weathering. But I think Hot Toys are going to do that too. I don't think they're going to skimp on theirs.
The masked face looks better than the head sculpt.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean,
The Batman picture looks just like the actor. The head sculpt.
This actually might be one figure, not this one. I'm getting the Hot Toys one, not this one. But this might be one figure that I'll enjoy switching up the cowl to the unmasked because of the eye paint. Like for all my Batman figures, they're always masked or cowled, and but this could be one that I would switch up and use that. So just holding the cowl, that'd be cool.
With the Dark Knight and even Michael Keaton, he never had any. It's just his face. You know what I mean? There's never anything on his face, so it definitely looked cool without the cowl on.
I just watched Batman Returns the other day, actually. And it was so funny because at the end when he's talking to Catwoman and he's got the eye paint, and then they cut to her, and then they cut back to him, and there's no eye paint, and you're just like, oh my gosh.
I never noticed that until because there was a video that popped up on YouTube that said 10 movie mistakes you never noticed, and that was one of them. I never knew that.
Name says I do care about the price, but for me, it's more about the quality. And for what I see with InArt, it looks like we getting something good. I mean, to be honest, if I get the Joker and then they fold, it doesn't affect me at all. Like, I'm not gonna be pre-ordering a bunch of stuff with them or, getting a lot of figures. So, I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know too many people, even in our community, that are pre-ordering all these figures. I think a lot of them jumped on the Joker. And then they're going to wait and see how everything else kind of goes. So,
well, the Joker, there was I've said this. The Joker was a very smart move. Everybody wants a Joker. Everybody loves the Joker.
Good thing to start with.
Absolutely, very popular character. Not only a Joker, but because they could have started with Jack Nicholson's Joker, and that would have been a hit too. You know what I mean? But Heath Ledger is unreal, so that's why they started with that. They knew they were going to make money with that. They knew that a lot of people were going to be on the hook for that $1,000 sculpted. And let me tell you something, they're making money with those figures, because think about it. If a regular one, a single Joker was how much? Do you remember?
3 something.
And the double pack?
6.
And then $1,000 for?
Yeah.
For both rooted.
Right. Yep.
Think about it.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing is they're coming out with way too many variants of these figures. You're getting like 3 different packages for each character except for Gandalf. Like you get the base, you can get a 2-pack, you can get this. It's just like
even beyond that, like that's another point. But even beyond that, think about it. You could get, by just removing, because remember, they make the head sculpts up to here, and then they add, whatever to the back, right?
Right.
So think about from 6 and change to, I thought it was less than that. I thought it was 400 or something for the double packs, wasn't it?
That's 6.
Is it 6? So from 6 and change, you're getting the same exact thing, and then you just add a back piece of hair for an extra, 300 and change. Like, they're making money. And remember, how much is this costing them, or what is cost for them? So
nothing.
So close to nothing. So I'm telling you, again, I'll never stop saying it's a money grab, and they're seeing how many people are falling for it. You cannot, for Hot Toys, when we talk about pricing, one of the excuses we use is, licensing. They're only paying for licensing over there, but they're selling mostly over here. So what does that say?
Right.
So it's I'm telling you. So it's money. It's money, money, money.
So here we have the Pennywise. This is the difference. The big difference is probably gonna be the rooted hair here. The outfit might be a little bit different as well. Again, might be more poofier around the neck because I know that was kind of an issue that they had with Hot Toys version was
Flat.
that collar area just kind of sat a little bit too low. So it looks good. I don't know. You have Pennywise, the Hot Toys?
I bought 4. I have 2 displayed. I have 2 sealed. And so the reason why I got the B version was because not this one, I got the other one because I was like, that looks awesome to be able to display, all 3. The 2 head sculpts are the Hot Toys, and then the 3rd head sculpt for this one, I was like, I need to get it. The only thing I don't like is that base is ridiculously big. It looks great. It's just too big. Apparently, it's real wood.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, man, like what, like why? I'm just gonna use a regular oval base and that's it.
And even the Hot Toys version, that base is stellar, and what they did with that, like, so again, for the price difference, I can't fathom there's going to be a ton of people that choose this. Maybe hardcore fans, but I mean, it's already a one-off, so it's already one of those figures that not everybody's going to want. But then you can get one that's like half the price as this, so I just can't see this doing all that well. But I could be wrong.
Did they make a sculpted out of this, or is it both rooted?
Just both rooted.
That's what I thought. Yeah, because I didn't see anything sculpted for this.
I mean, that looks really good. I'll give it that. But
I like the Hot Toys better, believe it or not. I think with this head sculpt, the Hot Toys is way better. I mean, this has, at least with this picture, has a lot of detail on the forehead, which Hot Toys doesn't really, it does, but not as much as this. It doesn't look as deep, at least.
Like the white on the forehead is all white. Like you don't see like the
you don't see You don't see those cracks and those ridges and stuff. But I like the what do you call it? The Hot Toys. And the hair too. The hair's kind of short on this. The Hot Toys, you get a little more, more pointiness to it. This is kind of flat in my opinion compared to the Hot Toys one. So I didn't really like this version much. And again, having the Hot Toys one is fine. But that other, the B version, I was like, oh man, this is beautiful. And it's just such a crazy look too that I was like, you know what? I need to get it.
So you're getting one of these?
Well, the B version, yeah.
This figure, I gotta say, looks freaking phenomenal. I mean, I like Lord of the Rings, but I'm not like a Lord of the Rings mega fan or a collector or anything. You haven't seen Lord of the Rings at all, have you?
None of them.
Mother effer.
Nothing. No Lord of the Rings. No Harry Potter. None of those movies. No,
I'm with you on the Harry Potter, but I'm a casual fan with Lord of the Rings. I'll watch this every 10 years or so. But man, this Gandalf, like, this looks just like the actor, Ewan something. I can't remember his name.
Ian McCullen or McKean or something.
McKean? Why does that not sound right? I don't know. Let us know in the chat.
Yeah, but somebody. Ian something.
It's just sick. And I thought was it the Asmus one that they came out with a while back? I thought that one was really good looking. But this looks.
The Asmus is good. The Asmus
is. And this one, I think, just might even knock that one out of the
park. No, the detail here and the likeness is like incredible here.
And I know older people, it's easier to get a better likeness because there's more characteristics in the face that they can kind of draw off of. But man,
I would think it would be harder from all those wrinkles and all those the puff. I wouldn't say it would be easier, in my opinion. I would think,
maybe because like the younger people, like they look softer because it's not as much
detail, right? So it would be harder because getting all the look at the bags under his eyes. You think that's easier to make than just a flat, smooth surface?
No, I wish I loved Lord of the Rings because this.
See, Ian
McKellen. Yeah,
told you. You're welcome. I'm a huge fan.
You said McKean.
No, I said McCullen.
Okay, but again, high price point, but yeah, this is.
How much is this one? $5,000.
I thought it was around $6,000.
Oh, see, what? Why? You know what I mean? Like, is rooted hair really, really worth an extra
No,
$300 a figure? Absolutely not.
it looks great, but yeah, it's not worth it.
You know, like this figure, $220, $300, fine. An extra $300 for rooted hair, I'm good.
I'm just gonna try and pull up really quick. I don't wanna falsely advertise that it's like
No, I remember people were talking about how expensive it was.
I
And
thought I
it's
remember
something,
hearing that.
it's like super expensive. And again, I didn't pay attention because it's not something that I would be interested in anyway. But it was like, man, like people are actually like excited to pay all this hair.
Daniel says rooted hair would seem like a lot of maintenance. I mean, I think they put like product in it, so all you're kind of doing is kind of molding it into place. And I will say from what I've heard too, the stuff out of the box is actually pretty decent. You don't have to do a whole lot of futzing with it.
Yeah, but over time that dries out. You know what I mean?
Over time, yeah, could be a different story.
Right. That's what he means. Like,
I mean,
probably what he means.
we've seen kind of like Hot Toys' older figures with rooted hair, and that just looked like Barbie stuff. Like this doesn't look anything like that, but I think that's why we all preferred to have just sculpted because yeah,
Yeah.
it's less
Right.
maintenance. You don't have to worry
Yeah.
about it. It's not
And
gonna.
that's why I don't like, that's why I don't care. Not that I don't like, that's why I don't care for rooted, because if Hot Toys makes it rooted, then it is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's not like I'm gonna go out of my way to pay extra for something like that. Like, absolutely not.
Could you guys picture Fabs just over the sink with his figures, just washing the dandruff out of his hair with shampoo?
Oh my
Here you
god.
go, little guy.
My dog shampoo. Oh man.
Well, anything else that you want to say about the InArt figures and any other final thoughts that you have about it?
No, again, God bless them. I hope I hope they do, what they promise the community, but after my two figures, I'm out.
He's out. All right. Well, that sounds good. Thank you for sharing those final thoughts. So the next thing that I want to talk about here as we change gears is seasons of collecting. And I guess the reason why I want to bring this up is because I find myself in different seasons from when I started to in the middle when I went crazy to now where I'm kind of holding back a little bit more. And I know, Fabs, you've been collecting for a while, so this might not be a topic as much that you kind of indulge in, but do you think that you've gone through seasons of collecting where maybe your collecting habits changed or you adapted to
Well,
like right now, like we have inflation, we have possibly like a recession going on, so like for me, I bought a new house, so my collecting habits have adapted to that, and I'm in like a different season of collecting, but that doesn't mean in the future I'm always going to be collecting the same way I am now or even collecting the same things that I'm collecting now.
well, my habits 100% changed, and they happened because of the market. Everybody knows that I was always getting, multiples, two, three, four of, figures like constantly. It wasn't just here and there. It was like most of the figures that I was pre-ordering, I was getting at least two.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them three, some of them four. Iron Man, I've gotten Mark 50s. I believe I got either four. I think it was four or six. Mark 85s. I think I got four. So that was just my habit for many years, just multiples, just because. But now, because of the market, not being able to resell them or get rid of them, as easily, period, and they're losing money, there is absolutely no reason for me to be getting multiples, of everything anymore. I still get multiples, but not of literally everything like I used to. So those habits completely stopped. And again, not so much because of the economy per se, but the actual, Hot Toys market, again, because
Right.
of companies like, Toys Wonderland, who came in and we, I specifically like always mentioning them first, but Hot Toys as well. Hot Toys started making a lot more product than they ever did in the past, so that
Yep.
affects the market as well. So it's not, again, it's just for some reason I just always like to blame it on Toys Wonders because they are damaging the market, really really badly. But Hot Toys, again, compared to when I started, they're making double and triple the amount of figures that they were making back then. So that affects the market 100%. Everybody now is getting figures pre-ordered. The amount of reissues that they're making is killing the resale value. If I was holding on to a for example a War Machine Mark One, and it was going for $1,200, you just got to reissue. Where that's it. That figure for $1,200 is gone because who's going to pay $1,200 for something that's out for retail again? So that destroyed everything, as well as Toys Wonderland and Hot Toys making too much and all that stuff. So those habits 100% changed.
That's a really good point. In that, yeah, it's like people that in the past maybe they'd have a change of heart in the figure that they bought, and maybe they just had it for 6 months and some new figure came out. So I'm just going to sell it, make some money, get this figure. You can't do that necessarily anymore, especially for like Marvel figures. You are losing your ass
Yep.
if you're selling those on eBay right now. So
Yep.
that's changed over the past year where you can't just get out from under a figure like you used to. And it's for like me, it's made me think like, well, A, with financial reasons, but B, it's like I really need to make sure that this is a figure I want, because like I've done in the past, I've sold like the Mando to get the new Mando, or whatever figure to get the new figure, like an old Luke to get the new Luke. Um, and you might not be able to do that as much anymore. So like you might have to rethink how you're purchasing or how you're affording this, because I was always big on like use your collection to fund your collection. You can still do that to a certain extent, but it's not the same as it used to be before. So
Well, you're not making money right now
right.
selling anything. If you could get rid of stuff if you're selling it, 50 to $80 under retail. Absolutely. People are going to jump on those. You could even put up, things up for retail that are used, and you're not going to get that money. You know what I mean? A figure that's
Hmm.
a couple years old, a year old, and you want to just make your money back. They're not giving you your money back. You got to sell it way below retail to be able to get rid of it. And when I say way below, I mean way below retail. Not even $20 below, $30 below, even $40 below. Nope. People are waiting for $150 figures, end game figures, 160, and that's even pushing it. So it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah, I mean, in the past year, I've changed for like seasons of collecting. I've also changed what I'm targeting. So like I was finding myself, I love Star Wars and I wanted everything Star Wars, and I was branching out into the prequels, not the sequels, but the prequels. And again, it was just kind of getting out of control for me, where there's just too much to buy. And I don't think it gets talked about enough, where some of us collectors spiral out of control a little bit, where we always just kind of talk like, oh yeah, I'm getting that, I'm getting that. And, you know, somehow we all just magically afford it. And some of us don't budget, and we just kind of keep buying until we tap out, because now we're cashed out. So, I decided to change how I was going to collect. I was going to focus on the original trilogy. I was going to get some of my one-offs back and not get stuff that I liked, but stuff that I loved. And I think through the past few months, I've kind of become more content with my collection, where there isn't as much as I need. And maybe that's just because I got to a point where I got all the stuff backwards that I really wanted from when I wasn't collecting. Now I can kind of just sit back and just kind of get things slowly as they come out that I really want, and I don't have to worry about going backwards. So, um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's fine to have seasons of collecting. I think that's a great way to stay in the hobby and not tap out, because if you feel like you got to go gung ho all the time, it might just kind of backfire. And some people can do it. And Fabs, I know you plan yours out very well, and you do a lot of the payment plans. So you and you've been doing this for a while, so you kind of have your process, to a T. Whereas me, I've only been collecting since the beginning of 2020. So for a while, I didn't budget, and I did just kind of, well, I want that, I want that, I want that. So I think like it's a big change for me because now it's like, well, I got other shit in life that I got to pay for. So I have to budget. I can do this much a month, or I do have to sell a figure if I need to get this other figure. And sometimes that happens. So any other thoughts on seasons of collecting or how things change for you over time, or even just the general
Well,
public?
one thing that I wanted to mention was when you're talking about funding your collection with your collection. That's what made it fun. Also, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
You were buying these figures that not everybody had, obviously, because the hobby wasn't as popular, at least for a little bit. And even if it was popular, it wasn't so popular like on Facebook. There a lot of people that collect are not necessarily on Facebook. They just collect for themselves. I was one of those people for many years. Having these rare figures, these masterpieces of collectibles, these high end collectibles. Anybody who's already involved, they knew how much they were spending on these figures because they knew that they would eventually get their money back, at least get their money back and more. Obviously
right.
depending on what it was, but you never lost money. Okay, you could get a figure for retail, 5, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and you were making money on it. Didn't matter what it was, you were getting money back. And even if you just needed that quick cash, you would sell it for what you paid for retail, and you would get it immediately. You
I
know,
think that's why I kind of went gung ho at the beginning too, because I knew like these hold value. I can get back the money if I need to. So
so that was a huge thing back then, and that was, once I learned that and realized that, that's what I said. You know what? I don't have an issue getting these multiples because I know that there's money to be made. And again, I didn't start, from 08, 09, 2010, started doing that. Absolutely not. I had to learn that over the years of being in the hobby. Wow, there's money to be made here. And then I figured, you know what, I could start funding, buy my figures by selling my multiples. And it worked out, decently well for a little while. And then that's why now I'm stuck with about, at least 70 boxes here. Brand new sealed Hot Toys, which I decided for those who don't know, I'm doing a raffle now just to be able to get rid of them. And it's, I'm sitting on thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars right now that I could have doubled or tripled by now if the market wasn't what it was. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't realize. Anybody who was involved and you would get a figure. Oh, this one came out, or I want to know. I want another figure. Let me sell this one so I could buy that one. And that was very common, very very common. And a lot of people who sold their collections, whole collections, they made decent money to put down on whether it was a house, on whether it was a car, because that's the type of money that you were getting from these collectibles. But that although that those days are gone.
well, and not only that, but now too with just the way that the government's kind of mandating things like
$6 in your account.
yeah, anything basically anything you sell, you have to get taxed on at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, however you want to look at it. So I know for me that really made me kind of take some caution and not sell as much either because I mean I don't want to get hit with a huge ass tax at tax time. So um that's just something else to kind of to take into consideration because you might not be able to sell as much as you used to either online. So you might have to make sure that you're okay with buying this figure because it's not going to be as easy to sell, A, because of the tax issue with the IRS, and B, because they're not going to hold as much value as they used to. So, I mean, you look at like Pennywise, and I think people are selling, maybe they're selling it to save up for the InArt one because, it's the newest, shiniest thing. So you see those selling for 200. I've seen some sell for 180, and that's almost $100 under retail. And then, they, or even with Joker, you sell your 2.0, your DX11, and you could probably still get $400 or $500 for it. So it's not too much of a hit, but like you sell that, you get the InArt one, but then Hot Toys comes out with their new one. Then you're going to sell the InArt one. You're going to take a loss at that. Then you're going to get the Hot Toys one. Like if you keep going in that aspect, you're just going to keep losing money. And then eventually you're going to be in some trouble.
And some people don't care. You see a lot of people, if you need the cash immediately, it is what it is. What are you going to do?
Right.
Better
I've
have
been there.
140, 150 than nothing,
Right.
So it just happens, but it was never like this. It was never like this. This hobby, and this is where, people get upset with these reissues because it's like for somebody who already had the figure and they know the value that figure, held or holds before any reissue. It's like, I don't need a reissue. But then you have people, well, what about those who don't have it? Well, that's not our problem. You know what I mean? How is that our problem that you got into the hobby now? Then start from now. Or if you want to go backwards, then go backwards.
I went backwards. I mean, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So then you got to pay for what they're worth. If you really want to get into it for real, then pay what they're going for. But, it becomes that type of conversation where, oh, well, everybody should have it. No, not everybody. How come nobody has a really rare car? How come nobody has not everybody has a Lamborghini? How come not everybody has, classic cars? Because it shouldn't be about that. It shouldn't be, not everybody should have everything. So it sucks, for people who, somebody like me, for example, who has been doing it for a long time and now, stuck with what's going on.
Yeah, I had a good follow up to that, and then I just lost it. So now we're gonna have some dead air while I think about what I was gonna say.
Look at D'Lo's comment.
What's up, D'Lo? We got D'Lo in the house. He says the IRS, aka the real Sixth Scale Mafia. Yeah, those bastards. That sucks because that's a lot more work for us to do. So I don't like that, but.
I mean, but even that aspect of like, having the IRS, like, tracking your stuff or always, coming for money, like that would never stop me from making money. You know what I mean? Like that would never stop me from selling if I need to, you know what I mean?
And
if for example, let's say, you have to sell something and it's at a loss. Well, you're not going to get taxed at a loss. You know what I mean? As long as you keep, you keep track of how much you're paying for your stuff, and you're always going to be able to write off losses anyway. So not everything's going to be a gain. You know what I mean? And that's tax stuff. But so that's why I never think about, that's a pain to have to now deal with that on your.
It's just more work. Yeah.
Right, to deal with that on your taxes. But when it comes down to, not everything's going to be a profit. So it'll offset, any profits that you do make. And but it's, it's just don't be afraid of that. And
that's a good point. You just gotta protect yourself a little bit. And what I've been doing is taking screenshots of my eBay orders, what I purchased, the price, and then what I sold it at, so that when tax time comes, I can put them together and then do the math and pretty much come up with actually how much I made instead of the thousands of dollars it's going to show that I made. So going back to your point with reissues and how you feel about them, and how you kind of said, it's not our fault you came into the game late, go backwards if you have to. I agree with that because it's what I did. But I do like the exclusiveness of figures, but I also like improvements to figures. So like if sculpts get better or paint applications, or, if the figure's body gets better, like it is hard for me because I'm all for that. Like I've upgraded my Batman from the Dark Knight to the DX19. I've upgraded a Luke figure, the older one to the newer one. Darth Vader even. The Catwoman, I'm going to get the new one. The Bane one, I'll get a new one, because it comes to a point when they are so outdated that I want the best looking figure. So I'm kind of on the fence. Like I agree with you, but I also like the new stuff and the better improved stuff.
Well, that's the thing. And here's where, like, what I mean. So something new comes out and you had an old one, let's just say they're not making reissues, but they're making 2.0s, right? Which is better than a reissue, all day. You could sell your old one at a profit, but then again, even a 2.0 is way too similar to the old one, where people say, you know what, I don't even want to go backwards. because here is the new one. And
Right.
that's even with the 2.0s, that's a problem. I don't care about that. If it's if it's just the 2.0, I'm going to get it anyway if it's something that I want to get. But a lot of people don't want to get, like you don't want to get too many of the same figure, even if it's slightly different. It's just a lot of people don't want to do that. So you can't even sell the old one to get the new one. And if you do, you're going to lose money, and it just sucks.
Right. Let's just check in with the chat here before we kind of move on. King Killer says, how would you maintain rooted hair? I don't think there's a whole lot you have to do. You might have to, like, some people put, like, over time, they might put a little bit more product in it just to kind of help mold it. But I mean, you're not combing it or like washing or anything like that. It's just kind of
Supercuts.
Can my figure get a haircut, please?
I think people actually do like hair gel and stuff, from what I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, they put hair product in.
I was like, what?
But a lot of them nowadays have it already in there. So I mean, like Daniel said, over time it probably dries out, but I'm sure it takes a long time. So I don't think you really have to worry about it too much.
You could say it takes a long time, but that depends on your temperature, where you're keeping your figure, and all that stuff. Because
Right.
you could be in a place where it's hot, humid. It's going to affect everything, or dry and cold. That's going to affect everything. So that it has to vary. Depending on where you're going to have your figure as well.
Do you have a dehumidifier in your basement?
Dehumidifier. I do not, because it's actually nice and cool down here at all year. Even in the summer, it's super cool down here, so I don't really have to worry about it. I do have an air purifier though, but I don't have a dehumidifier or a humidifier.
Yeah, so I have a dehumidifier more in the summer months when it's more humid, just to keep it to like 50%, and then it's always cool here too. I have a window in front of me, so I do have to pull the shades, during the day, just because it just for like a half an hour light hits in a certain spot, so it's not like the end of the world, but I just don't take any chances. But yeah, it's always cool down here as well. Wintertime, I don't really have to do much. It's nice and dry, but cool still. So
yeah, that's and and even the cool, I think the cool, obviously depending on how cool, but the cooler thing is less damaging, even though it does cause damage, because I've noticed that over time, glue on like magnets on Iron Man, like if you go, like for example, this happened to me. So one of the Pepper Potts Iron Man figure that comes with, from Iron Man 3, where she becomes, she puts the Mark 42 armor on, I believe. The Mark 40, one of them. She puts on one of them. Anyway, so I have two of them. I have her regular, and I have her with the helmet on. And I was cleaning, and I went to take off the helmet, and I dropped it. Well, the magnet went flying. I still haven't found it.
oof.
And that happens because the glue dried so much from the cold that it just fell off. So I ended up buying these magnets from eBay.
Amazon? Oh.
No, eBay, and they're way too thick for what the original magnets are. So that's why I still had a bunch of them, because I ended up not being able to use them. So now I have her just holding the faceplate because it won't go back on.
F.
So the cold is not great either.
Name says I started collecting figures like NECA and McFarlane, but I stopped for the same reason of what Hot Toys is doing now with reissues. NECA was doing something like that with Pennywise. Yeah, I hear
think they
you.
all do it to a certain extent.
Yeah, the
When they
same
see
figure,
one-
just different poses, sort of thing. So that's why I stopped collecting. Moved to 6th Scale and hoping to have a unique piece, but now the companies are doing the same. I mean, yeah. When Hot Toys has been around since what, 08 or 2010? Something like that.
Hot Toys?
Yeah.
Hot Toys was around way before 08. Like,
Was it 98?
It's definitely the 90s. I'll tell you that right now. Definitely the 90s, because I told you they started with the crappiest figures. It was like policemen, then it was like firefighters, and then it was like Asian characters, and then they got into military, and then they started getting more stream with like Marvel, and then all that stuff. They've been around forever. You got to see the very first Hot Toy they made. Oh my god, it looks like it's worse than a Barbie doll.
I guess what I'm getting at is some of these figures aren't 20, 30 years old, so they never had to reissue them. But now, because they are getting to that certain point where technology's gotten a lot better, it just makes more sense to reissue and give improvements. So, I mean, I get it. Like I said, I get it to a certain extent. This one's probably more for you. What do you think about the new Iron Man Neon Tech figure? I'm considering buying it.
I have all of them, especially that Mark IV blue one. The only problem is, that gantry. Like it's cool, very very cool. I don't have room for that. I have the original plastic gantry that came with that Mark IV, and so I'm not getting it because again I have the original Neon Tech blue. But I just would have loved to have the figure. If they would have made the figure by itself, just to get that clear plate and that face plate and that clear chest plate that they're giving you with this figure, with this pack, I would have definitely gotten, just for that. But because you got to buy with the gantry, I am not even going to bother unless it sits there for years and it's going for like 50% off.
30%.
Yeah, something like that. Then maybe. But at this moment, and I don't think it's going to last that long. I think again because it's really cool, completely different. It's die cast. So I don't think it's gonna last much long, too long. But no, very cool. But I wish I could get it. But again, just I don't need another gantry. I don't need room for the one I have.
Speaking of sales, Thanos. If anybody needs a Thanos, Sideshow has them for 30% off with free shipping.
Which
Today
one?
only, I believe.
Regular?
The Endgame.
Battle damage? No.
Clean.
Oh, clean.
So if you need your Thanos, now's the time.
Yeah, somebody sent me something today. About
2000 they became official.
2 figures. Yeah, official, but they were around, since the 90s making crazy stuff. Let me see. Somebody sent me something today about figures that are low stock, I believe. Let me see. It's wait, was it here? I think it was let me see who it was. I'll tell you right now. It was Combat Evolve. He sent me the heavy weapons clone with the with that bike is almost gone, and so is the Iron Man Stealth, that Origins comic book one. They're under they have the almost gone print at the bottom.
Okay. Good to know. If you guys are kind of trying to keep an eye on that, you might not have many more chances. So, all right, let's transition into. So we've kind of talked about seasons of collecting and how we've changed over time, and it made me want to ask you too, like, what are your future display goals? What are you looking to do with your display? How are you looking to change it or tweak it? Are there things that you have in mind that you're going to do to kind of change your display room or just the way you display your Hot Toys? Or what goals do you have?
My goals, oh man, module cases forever, but
Forever.
But I just saw those. What are they called? You always mention them. The
like the heavy duty racks.
Yeah, those racks from like Home Depot that you could like customize yourself. Like, if it gets to the point, like I'm gonna figure out how to, my thing is the plexiglass around it. You know what I mean? That's like my only like. If I could get the rack right now. I have Home Depot literally 30 seconds down the road. But the thing is, I have the rack here. Now what? You know what I mean? It's like it's just going to sit there. At least Detols, they have the glass door where everything's sealed. To a certain extent, they're not completely sealed, but you could hold off some of the dust. If I were to leave, that rack wide open, forget it. I'll have dust everywhere. So that's the only thing that's holding me back. But if there was a way for me to just get them and have them completely sealed immediately, I would have had them by now already. And the fact that you could customize the height and stuff like that, even better. If I need to put, a 4 shelver on one side and then take one off to fit somewhere else, that would be great.
I like what Knight says. Future display goals: get an actual display case. I know that's a lot of thing. A lot of the time, people kind of put that on the back burner. Actually, is the display case.
Well, because
They'll
it's so expensive to just buy the
right.
figures, period. And then it's like, man, now I gotta find so people a lot of people just display them on top of cabinets and bureaus and
Shelves.
stuff like that. Yeah, like anything that they can find just to be able to, enjoy their figures. Because if you're constantly buying figures and then you got to buy display cases, it's like, man, like you got to be making these, or either you got to stop buying figures to buy your shelves, or you got to keep buying figures and just display them as they come wherever the hell you can, and or build get those L brackets and build you some quick shelves or something like that. But no, it's tough. It's tough.
I mean, I started with the shelves. I had them for a little bit, and then I should actually show you that. I should pull that up. I started with shelves when I
What
was transitioning from
your
like
humble beginnings?
from Funko and NECA to Hot Toys. Um, and then I decided. Obviously, a lot of people like to go to DTOFs for the reason that they're cheap and accessible, and they look nice. So I mean, I
Yeah,
completely understand
they're cheap.
that.
They're easy to put together. They're durable. They're nice. As long
Except
as you
nowadays, they're almost double in price.
yeah, they're $100 now, and it's just
Come
gonna keep
on.
going up.
Oh, let's see here. Is this one of them? Not quite. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna go with Case, I mean, I still think it's the best way to go, but
It
the
is.
weight is
It's a more
painful.
professional way.
Yeah, and the price is painful. But let me just stop this, and I'll show you this because I don't think you ever saw this. But here is my
Oh,
first
that's cool. What is that
one, two,
lighting on
three,
them?
4, 5, 6. These are my first 6 figures, and I just had 3 shelves. So I had NECA, I had Pops, I had Hot Toys. I was just kind of displaying all of it. Yeah, so I just had Govee LED lighting underneath that is like tape light,
Oh,
so
it's an
that would
LED
still light it.
strip,
Yeah,
but it's
just
not.
a
What brand is it though? Is it just generic?
Govee.
What's Govee?
So
What's that?
so the strip lights I have around my Module case, not inside, are Govee, and then the light back here, this pink light, this
Oh, the
glide is
the
Govee.
RG blue.
Yeah. Um,
Oh, it looks nice. Wait,
but
why
yeah,
do you have the Crow? What's going on?
I sold them.
Oh, but you had them.
I did.
So
I
you already
did.
know. So you already know the truth. Unbelievable. Trying to play me
Well,
like wrong about my Hot Toys.
but
Unbelievable.
I could get the sideshow crow for
It's
like
not the same.
$100 less.
It's not the same.
It's better. No,
Yeah, okay. It's
this is a
better.
good figure. The only reason I sold him is because the pleather scared me. But then I have the DX13, but I just love that figure too much to get rid of. But I do tend to stay away from pleather if possible. So
That figure is beautiful. Did you get the exclusive with the vein or no?
with the vein,
Yeah, it came with the weather vane.
no, it didn't come with that.
No, you didn't get the exclusive.
Let me see. Let me see here. Oh yeah, here's my final picture of what it looked like before. So it was a mess.
Look how clean that mess. That looks so nice.
Really?
That looks really nice. How is that a mess? What's a mess?
It just to me
Look
it
at
was.
the turtles. The turtles are like stacked up nice. Look at Vader. There's no
I
mess
think
at all.
I think it just seemed like a mess because I had different stuff I was trying
Well,
to.
the messy part is the Funko Pops, but everything else looks nice.
No, and that's another reason why I got away from Funko is not only because they're not detailed figures, which is what I really loved about Hot Toys, but like it was hard to display them. So, um, I was more of a box collector, and you're just displaying a box. Like Hot Toys is so cool because you actually take the figure out, and you don't necessarily lose value just by taking it out. So, um,
That's another thing with this hobby. You know what I mean? Obviously, yeah, if you keep it sealed in box, you're gonna make double. But even if you open it, display it for a couple years, and back then you could still make, your money and maybe $80, $100 more. You know what I mean?
right. So, then I got DTOS.
Don't touch it.
And detofs are cool. Again, I tried to display, like at the time, my goal was to display everything I had together because you have different sizes. Here we have the NECA Terminator T1000 with the T800, Batman in a Funko Pop. Even here back here, Darth Vader with the Star Wars trilogy on VHS. Just cool things, but
Cool. You got a couple questions about displays. Knight has a question.
So yeah, let's we can pop over here quick. I saw that one. S Beam says I've been doing the DIY module cases. There you go.
How do you do that? Is that those racks?
Yeah.
Oh.
I hated waiting for module case. Just grabbed the materials myself and made them.
Are they dust proof? Are they completely sealed? Were you able to do that? Because I think that's like the only issue people are having. That you
Did you follow like Posing Peter's video or some of those guys? Is that what you kind of took it after? Or are you doing something completely different? Do you have recommendations for DTOF alternatives? Module case?
Yeah, module case. That's it.
The only other thing that's even comparable is the IKEA Billy cases.
The hell is that?
Or the Billy bookshelves. But I would actually prefer a DTOF over them just for how DTOFs display. I think they display better. There's not a lot out there, to be honest. It's either a shelf, a DTOF, or some sort of type of module case type of shelving. It's
if you want to look at different styles of stuff, go to displays2go.com and it'll blow your mind because they have like hundreds of types and sizes, and I'll put it in the chat just so you could
So while he's doing that, so then I went to DTOFs, kept it clean. Then I went to just putting Hot Toys in. I had Funkos on top. I started scaling back. My goal was to just have a clean display with Hot Toys, and that's what I had for a while. I did cool stuff. I took like baseball bat cases and I flipped them on their side, and I put shelves in, and then I put my NECA figures in, as well as Star Wars.
I'm telling you, those lights do not look generic at all. They look really nice.
Yeah, they're not. Gofi's a good brand.
Because I always get those, those 16.4 feet, LED strip rolls, but they never look like that.
Yeah, you can change the colors, so that's nice.
Mine are RGB with white also, but they never look like that. They just look, I don't know. I think I may be getting, because I get the waterproof ones. I don't get the regular ones, so maybe that's why.
Oh yeah, maybe. So just keeping it clean. I just put 4 turtle figures up there, and then I had 1 row of pops. You can kind of see the display evolving. Here's a full shot.
Yeah, that looks awesome.
Sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I miss DTOFs, but I just can't. I don't have the space to.
What is that? The Elder Predator and the regular Predator?
Yep, I just don't have the space to put 1 or 2 in a DTOF, and that's why I wanted to go to module case.
Would you say you don't have the space to put 2 on a DTOF?
What do you mean? I mean, like I don't have the space to keep 1 or 2 figures in the DTOF unless I'm rotating, and I've never been a fan of rotating my collection. I want everything that I have out because that's why I have it. So
I have a DTOF shelf with literally 8 figures on it. So what do you mean you can't do more than 2?
I don't want to.
Oh, you don't want it to.
So that's why I went to module case where I could have more space. Because here I like how it looks with 1 or 2, but I can't do that anymore. So
I thought you meant that you couldn't because of space. I'm like, what?
Because I can't. I don't have the space to have all of these DTOFs, I guess is what I'm saying. Do that, to put 1. Yeah. So
no. The what do you call it? The module cases are the best way to go.
Yeah, and here I even put like black fabric on the back, so it kind of blacked out the background.
That's a good idea too. That actually looks really nice. I didn't notice that. Yeah. How did you do that? Like before you put it together, you tape something on there or something?
So I just measured the inside of the DTOFs, went to Hobby Lobby or your Michael's, whatever craft store, and then I just got the black felt fabric, cut it to size, and I just used double-sided tape on the inside. And then that way you don't have a reflection either, but you can do it on the outside if you want.
That's why it looks nicer too. It looks cleaner. How is how's the dust? With the felt in there. Does it get like super dusty?
No.
No.
I put weather stripping on all my DTOFs as well, so it helps.
See, I never did that on mine.
Yeah.
Because I get a lot of dust in them. When I got a dust, forget it. Oh, so much dust. Oh,
Forget it. And then I got a 5th DTOF, and I made my own riser. Because again, I didn't like how DTOF sat on the ground, and then you couldn't really enjoy the figures that were on the bottom. So, I decided to make my own riser to get them up higher, utilize some space. And again, the few Funkos that I had left, as well as NECA, I just displayed underneath. It was
See,
good.
I've always thought that looked really nice how they put the details on top of these cabinets, and I think IKEA sells them too, right? Like they have their own types.
They do, but they're not hardwood, so they're not rated for that kind of poundage. So you can do it, but if it ever gives away or something.
It looks really nice. I could never pull that off here because my ceiling goes like this. It goes this down and then up again, so it wouldn't work. But I always like that look. It looks really nice. And like you said, the ones at the bottom, you're gonna like bend to be able to look at them.
And that's the other thing I miss about DTOFs. You can still kind of look down and see your figures, whereas my case, it's the felt. So you can't, again, like seeing Grogu on the bottom, it's a little bit tougher. You get cut off. So there are definitely advantages to having DTOFs. It's just you gotta decide what your needs are. So I'll kind of just show a couple more pictures of how my collections evolved and what goals I had, but then kind of talk about, I guess, what goals I have now.
The module case is with the felt already?
Yep.
That's
yeah. Cool. And then it was time. I waited over a year, or about a year, for... God, I have a lot of pictures in this album. Oh, yeah. Then we had the module cases.
I've deleted all my collection pictures. All of them.
Oh, no. It's like a scrapbook, or like looking at memories.
I've deleted all of them just because I'm like, I posted everything already, so I don't need them on my phone.
Well, then I tried to put light boxes in and incorporate that.
That looks cool.
I didn't really like how it looked. I don't know.
Well, you know why? Because of the center piece in the middle, that whole rod that crosses the entire. If that wasn't there, it would look nice because it would be right in the center of each collection.
That would be cool.
Yep.
Yeah. So then I just put them on top.
That looks nice too, though.
And
I think Batman belongs in the middle, though. But I see what you did with the black, red, black. Because I think that that pops better, but I think the Batman symbol would look nice in the middle.
And then this is pretty much what it looks like today, except a couple Batman figures aren't in there. So I have all the light boxes up top. Got everything here.
I think you should take those helmets out and Grogu and put them on top as well. Oh, you said they don't fit, right? Because you don't have.
Yeah, see how this is like indented in?
Yeah, I just noticed that. That's why I realized they didn't fit.
Yeah. So the lights fit because it just sticks out enough.
How much does the module case stick out of that like space in there? A couple inches?
4 or 5 inches, maybe.
That's what you were able to put the light boxes there, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I know that was kind of a long-winded journey of where I've come from, but it's kind of fun just looking at just kind of looking at where you've come from, with what you started with. So my goals now is back here. Maybe over time, I'd like to get like a couple DF module cases and stack them on top of each other and put like vehicles in there. And then maybe get rid of that one last DTOF back there, which I have my quarter scale, and maybe incorporate them as well. So that's kind of what I want to do for future goals, is maybe get a couple more module cases, put them back in that cove. But outside of that, like the goals that I have are kind of just keep collecting along the lines that I have here. Like a DeLorean would be awesome. Maybe get rid of this stuff down here, put a DeLorean down there, have a couple vehicles. Or maybe back here is just more of like DF for quarter scale stuff. So that could be kind of what I'm looking forward to. But let me check back in.
You got my fan in here again.
Billy Joel?
Yeah, it's my fan. He's back. He went from Fab's Conspiracies to this now. Billy Joel.
Is he jealous?
I don't know. We got to find out. We got to find out why he's on my Bulls.
He loves you. Knight says 2,400 for nice shelf. What is so good about Case? I don't think a 13-year-old asks for a bank loan. Well, mine wasn't even close to 2,400. I would say mine was probably like 1,400, I think. So, you're looking at 1,000 less than what you're thinking there. But also, the nice thing is these are just built for Hot Toys. Like Detolfs, you have to do so many customizations, and they're not built for Hot Toys. These are made for it. So, it comes with the lighting, comes with felt bases. They're scaled to fit. You get a lot more real estate. Whereas with Detolfs, you got all those in between spaces that you can't utilize. They have heavier weight capacity. They look nice. They have magnetic fronts. They're dust proof for the most part. And they look high end. So, I mean, it's not for everybody. I'm not going to lie and say it's for everybody, but for some people, I think it definitely is worth the money to kind of put your collection over the top. So convenience. I think the convenience of it too, and everything.
And what about the time to put them together? Is that like worth it too?
Yeah, I mean, it's time consuming, but once you kind of get it down, it goes quick. It's just, okay, it took me 20 minutes to build the cube. Now it takes me another 15 minutes to put the lighting in. And then you do that 8 times, it definitely adds up. But it was so cool when the product was done, and you can kind of just make scenes if you want. And, like you have these small squares that you're trying to put all of these figures in, and now you could have like this wide open space that you could stagger them with those
The risers, yeah.
the risers that you have. You can do a lot more, it seems. But I will say too, Detolfs have a certain look that you can't beat either, when it's like 1 to 2 figures per cube. That just looks extra clean too. So
and it's a good point that you just brought up too with the risers. When if you could do risers on the Detolfs too, but the risers got to be so small. You know what I mean? You can't have a
Right.
high enough riser to make a huge difference. You know what I mean? So you got to get maybe a 1-inch riser to be able to like barely do something, because once you get above 2 inches, that's it. You're going to hit the top, and it's not even going to do anything.
Right.
So that's annoying too with the Detolfs.
Dilo says, I've gone with Maju cases and I'm waiting for more. Jedi's videos are hands down the best when building. Oh, thank you so much, sir. I appreciate that. I know there's a couple other videos out there, but I just wanted to do my own for you guys if you were new to building it, and try to make it as easy as possible. But B, do it for myself in case I buy more of these. I'll remember how to build them, and I can watch my own damn video.
You don't get direction how to really?
No.
How is that possible?
they have like an online instruction sheet, I think, but it's
you print out.
Yeah, but it's not great. So
that's insane. You would think, like, if you're paying all this money for something, at least tell me how to put it together.
I know it's fun.
It's fun. Oh man.
I have a custom Max series on order that is 65 in length, 30 diameter, and 31 high, costing around 27. Kind of wish I went the DIY route. If you're regretting it, you can check. I don't know, King Killer, when you made the purchase, but depending on how far out, if it was a couple months ago, you can probably still cancel and get all of your down payment back. If you're pretty close to the end, you might kind of have to suck it up. But if you just placed it not too long ago, you could reach out and see what you can do. DIY looks cool, but then again too, if I did go that route, I would worry like the tape I'm using, the black tape around the plexiglass, like starts to peel. And I get you could you just put more on, but
I was going to ask you about that. The guy, what was it? Oh my God, the guy who was telling me about them, I always talk about him. He said something about black tape too, to be able to seal, What black tape are you talking about? As soon as you said black tape, I'm like, what, electrical tape? But what
I
black?
would assume duct tape.
Oh, just black.
Yeah, just
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just to kind of make it look more
He said the
nice
same
and
thing.
more.
He's like black tape, and I was like, black tape. What the hell? Yeah, I didn't
So
know.
I mean, I just worry if I'm doing it myself, it's gonna not last as long, I guess. But they look nice.
No, his look sick. His look really nice. When he showed me, I was like, man, this looks awesome.
Well, thank you all for going down memory lane with me and my collection and how it started. Fabs got to see my humble beginnings.
Yeah, I did. Freaking unbelievable.
S Beam says vinyl tape.
Oh, vinyl tape. Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, because I'm like, black tape. What the hell is black tape?
So what does everybody think if we kind of end the night with some Hot Toys versus? Does that sound good, Fabs?
Yeah.
I want to see, what does it look like if we... You hear that?
Yes.
Is that going? Where'd that be?
I can't hear you now.
You hear me?
Oh, now I can.
Oh, a little faintly in the background. We get that Jedi music on. Let's see how that works. All right. Barely hear it. So, Fabs, are you ready for this?
Let's go.
Hot Toys versus. If you're new to the game,
Ooh.
you pick one to keep in the collection, one that goes bye-bye. Could be for multiple different reasons. Just we like the character better. We have more nostalgia feelings towards it. We like the accessories. We like the frickin' box. Who knows? There's no wrong answer. Unless you disagree with me, and then you are wrong. So,
Get out.
Then get out. Let's see if I can make this. Okay. So, 2 figures actually on pre-order right now. We have the Batman on the left, Hot Toys, and then we have the new Justice League Tactical Batman on the right. This might seem pretty easy, but I still wanted to do it because you could say, well, I'll just get the Batman because I could just get the Justice League non-Snyder cut version. If you really want to cop out, you could say that. But if you could just pick one of these to kind of have, which one, like maybe, which one do you think you would pick, Fabs?
Only one?
No, pick both. That's the game. I'll take both.
Well, I haven't gotten the new. I didn't even pre-order the new Snyder cut Batman yet. So, but I like, when that Batman, that 2022 Batman came out, Robert Pattinson Batman, I was like, it was kind of blah. Like I was like, I don't really. Nothing. It's not, it's not calling my name. It's not, there was nothing about it that was like, but so I saw the movie. I bought a bootleg, and then it was very dark, so I couldn't really see it much. So I was like, Then one of my buddies gave me his HBO Max account to use.
Okay.
And it's on there. I mean, the tactical suit, the suit is beautiful. I like that bulky. I like all the it looks muscular. I love all that stuff. But now watching the Batman movie, I really like that suit. It's very basic, and I've always
grew
loved
on me too.
Yeah, I love that futuristic stuff. I love that. I love all that fancy, advanced look stuff. But let me tell you, with this Batman suit, man, it's like I said, it's very, very basic. There's not much to it. He looks very, very rugged, just very beginner look. But I'll go with the new Batman suit, 100%.
I'm actually surprised with how many people said they'd go with the tactical suit. I thought it would be kind of a landslide for the Batman. I'm going to pick the Batman suit as well because I need this Pattinson Batman. Whereas I feel like I can get other Ben Affleck figures if I missed out on this one. I could get the armored. I could get the the BVS. I could get the Justice League suit as well. So while I think this new tactical suit looks great, and I think like the dry brushing looks good. I like how the silver kind of blends in with the black and makes it stand out. It's different, and that's what I like about Nightmare Batman. It's a different suit. It's not something we see, but I gotta get me that Pattinson Batman suit because I love the movie. I know some people wasn't for them, but I gotta get it.
Yeah, the movie was crazy. I didn't think it was gonna be, and when it came out, everybody was, raving about it, but I hadn't seen it, and I saw it maybe I think 2 to 3 weeks ago for the second time, like actually really seeing it, and
Right.
I was like, my God, I missed so many details with the bootleg that I was like, wow, this is insane. So I really and the car, oh my
Oh,
God,
I love the car. That whole scene was awesome.
yeah.
That scene, and then when he flies off the building top, that was intense. Where he's just like, and then
Yep, with the flying suit. Yeah, that's another thing. You with the going back to the InArt with the Batman. You're spending all this money. You don't even have the flying suit. You know what I mean? With Hot Toys, you get everything for 500
right.
bucks.
It's a good point. I actually read something today that Reeves, the director, is he's working on for the next couple movies. It's going to be Scarecrow, Clayface, and
Oh, that'd be amazing.
somebody else that I can't remember. And then he's also working on the Penguin series, the TV series. So
Yes, that I heard. Plus, the Joker. Everybody's talking about the Joker, but the Joker, they said the third one was going to be. He was going to be in the third one.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be interesting to see what they do with Joker. But
He's
I don't think
already
you can go wrong with
that's
either one
face.
of these. Yeah, that was
Oh my God, that's gonna
leprosy
be
or something.
that's gonna be intense.
All right. The next one, let's do Valkyrie and Riva. A couple
Oh,
more
this
pre-order figures.
this is a tough one. Go ahead.
See, this is when I was trying to think I want to pin two females against each other. And this one might be easy depending on well, I just do Marvel. I just do Star Wars. So it might be easier for you guys out there, but at the same time, I think they're very comparable character-wise. Like they're kind of side characters, but that a lot of people still have a following for. And yeah, so I think it could be an interesting one. So I'll just let you take it away.
See, if this would have been um Valkyrie in a previous movie, I think I would have picked Valkyrie. But
Yeah.
because of how she was in this movie, even though the suit, is better, looks nicer than previous movies, and I like all that stuff, and the lightning bolt and thunder and all that stuff, very cool. Her design, her hair, all that stuff is great. I like Riva's character more. I like the demeanor. I like how badass she was. Her suit, even though it's just very plain black, blah. I don't know. I'm gonna go with Riva just because I just her character in general. I liked her better than Valkyrie, and I love Valkyrie. I've wanted a Valkyrie figure for since the first time she came out with the horse Pegasus. So but I like Riva better. I just think she's more badass.
We got Texas Finest in the house. Great stream tonight, fellas. Have fun. Hit the like button. Exactly. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Helping the channel out any way you guys can. Free content coming your way. I'm not like Fabs. We're trying to get memberships and stuff. So
I didn't even have a membership. Oh my God.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. Like Valkyrie from Ragnarok would be great.
Yeah.
Even an Avengers, was it more of Infinity War, or maybe did we see her more in just the end of Endgame? Whatever. Mostly Ragnarok would have been the best one.
Ragnarok.
Some of the props that she comes with. I like the head sculpt, but I don't necessarily see it all the time either. I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Something with maybe it's the outfit, but the neck looks a little too long for me. So it kind of throws me off, but also the movie was just very average. And typically I have to like the movie to get the figure, but not always, because if it's a figure that I like this, where if I really liked her in Ragnarok, but this is the only figure I can get, I'll get her because, I'll just use her as that.
Right.
Riva wasn't the biggest fan of, but I think the figure looks great. And, I didn't think her character was terrible. I just don't know if it's like a figure that I need. But, so it's like I could get Valkyrie, put her more with the Avengers stuff, or I could get Riva where she doesn't really fit in anywhere. Having said that, I think I still would go with Riva just because I think the figure just looks better. Like, the characters, they kind of mean the same amount to me. So I think at that point I would default to which one I think just looks better. And that'd be Riva. So I'd go with Riva. I'm with you, 2 for 2. S Beam says that is tougher. Eddie says Riva. Daniel says Riva. Knight says I did not like Thor: Love and Thunder. I did not like Riva and Kenobi, but I'd still go with Riva. Yeah, so I'm kind of with you as well. So S Beam though, going for Riva or going for Valkyrie. So it's not a bad choice. It really isn't. It's just
They're
I
both
think
great.
the movie just kind of leaves a little bit of a bad taste on my mouth. So
yeah.
All right. Last but not least, let's finish with some Marvel. So we're gonna pin some Spider-Man figures against each other. Do you have both of these?
Ooh, yes, I do. I got 2 zombies and 2 cyborgs, actually. And I got no, it's funny. I got the second cyborg because I wanted to put so I saw somebody when the figure was just released, and they had a Tom Holland head sculpt on the cyborg figure. Let me tell you something. It looked beautiful, and I was like, I need a second one. The second one's still sealed in the box. I never opened it, and because my Tom Holland head sculpt, I ended up using it somewhere else. Oh no, wait. Here it is. I thought I used it somewhere else. So I have to use it somewhere. But the reason why I still have it is because I ordered a one of those like clothing kits, like literally like over 2 years ago, and it's still not yet released. So I'm waiting for that, which is why I still have it there. It's like it's the outfit that he had in the Far From Home field trip. That plaid shirt and the backpack and whatever. So I'm waiting for that, which is why I have that sitting there. But I will pick Cyborg a million times just because look at that thing is so badass. Like you can't go wrong with that. And like I said, I love futuristic stuff. I love advanced. I love robotic stuff. So that and just look at the leg, that wrap he's got on the leg.
Look at that wrap. Just look at it.
Just look at it. Would you just look at it? The little bandana he's got on, the cybernetic eye, that
it's like
arm,
siphon filter or something.
That arm is reminds me of Jax from Mortal Kombat. So I just Cyborg all the way.
I want to say a quick shout out to Payden23 in the house. He says hello everyone. What's going on, Payden? Well, I think I'm going to go against the grain here. I think I'm going to pick the Zombie Hunter.
What do you like about the Zombie Hunter?
I like the cape.
That's it. That's the only difference. That's all it is. Yeah. It's a great. I love the figure, but
it's just kind of an interesting concept to me, I guess. And he looks clean. I like that. And that's really all I can say is just the cape. I mean, that's kind of what makes the difference.
Yeah, that's it. Because it's literally the that last Spider-Man suit that came out with the different material made and the cape.
Yeah. So
what was it called? The college something or the what the hell was it called? The
one with the D23 one?
Yeah, with the churro. Yeah.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
So it's literally the same exact suit, different color, lighter blue. Literally same design that you see on the legs, but the symbol's a little bit different, obviously, and the material of the suit is different, but literally the same suit. And you add the cape. But I love the figure too. It's right. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's right in the front behind me. See it right there?
I see it.
So I just it's a beautiful figure. It's just the Cyborg does it for me all day, every day.
Avengers Campus. Thank you, S Beam.
Yes, Avengers Campus. Yeah.
No, I mean, and this one on the right, the cyborg one looks pretty cool because it's like it's kind of like a Nightmare Batman. You're like, you've never seen this before, so it definitely looks cool, and I could see why people would like it. But for some reason, something with this Doctor Strange like cape just looks cool.
That looks cool. It's different,
and I like that pose too.
Yep.
Well, that's all she wrote for the Hot Toys Versus. Do you have anything else that you want to touch upon before we get out of here? Man, I'm so good at this. We're right at 2 hours. It's just like, it's perfect timing.
No, I'm glad you invited me. Thank you for having me as usual, guys. Thank you for being in the chat, participating as always. Yeah, I hope this is not my last time on here, because remember, the guy said this is my channel. So
okay. Oh, he thought it was your channel?
No,
with my face up in the corner.
Didn't you read what he said?
He said Fabs has his own channel now.
No, he said gross. I didn't know this became Fabio's channel now.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh man.
What are I don't know if you want to just tell us what you've been up to on your channel and what you got coming out.
Oh man, I'm blowing up. No, I'm kidding. I finally hit 1,000, so I was very excited about that. I just opened up. Which figure did I open up? The black chrome Death Trooper, a beautiful figure. I got this coming soon, probably tomorrow, to open and display for you guys. This figure, I don't know if you guys have seen this. This figure is super, super old. At least between 8 to 10 years old. I just never opened it. It's still sealed. I removed the sticker, but the reason why I'm opening this figure up is because I'm going to display that with this figure. I'm going to use that suit to display this head sculpt. So that's going to come soon. And then I'm getting the Blurg and Mando probably next week. I still got to open up a few figures. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I got this one, my second piece of the Venomized Iron Man that I got to open up. I got 3 of these, so I'm going to open up.
Nice brown box.
Yep. Well, I ordered a case of 3, so that's why it's brand new. And then nice. And that's it. So stay tuned for those.
Yeah, if you haven't already, just head on over to his channel, give him a subscribe, and all of his info is in the description below, so you can find that pretty easy. Keep an eye out for when he goes live, because I know you like to go live a lot. So if you want to catch that.
I like something interesting. I don't do, like, for example, the Blurg came out. I didn't really talk about it. But when like figures are released or announced that like I really like, I'll definitely go right on and stream and talk about them.
Sounds good. As it goes for me, obviously I'm just trying to get content out whenever I can, but hey, we're starting to get back into like a little bit of a routine where, I came out with a video last week, I think the week before, and last week I went live. This week I've gone live. I want to try to get some content out maybe by the end of the week, maybe comparing the DX9 Batman with the Batman Returns. Just do some fun videos with that. Otherwise, I've been toying around with the idea of picking up that Sideshow Crow figure just to kind of see how it is and maybe review it for you guys. But, there's another figure that I like that Sideshow is the Dude.
That looks cool. I mean, it looks
Big Lebowski,
cool.
But it's another one that's like, I don't know if I like the movie a lot. It makes me laugh. But is it a figure that I need, that I love, or is it just kind of one that it'd be nice to have? So I'm kind of toying around with that. I gotta think about it. I gotta pray about it. I gotta meditate about it, and then I'll make the right decision. So thank you guys all for watching. Thank you all for, like Fab said, just kind of being active in the chat, because this is pretty much why we do this, is just to kind of interact with you guys and be a community and talk figures, because that's what we love. That's our passion. So thank you so much for joining. If you haven't, I guess subscribe to my channel. You know, maybe you're watching, maybe you're one of Fab's followers, and you're like, oh, I gotta check this out. You know, make sure you subscribe to my channel too.
Yes.
S Beam says, I like the dude I have teaching Harley how to bowl. Nice. Yeah, he comes with a lot of fun stuff. So I don't know. I just gotta think about it a little bit more. But
Just find out how the body is. If you have a good body for the figure, then get it. It's just the sideshow bodies that turn me off.
and I have heard people saying that the Crow figure is a lot heftier. It seems a lot more durable. But again,
It's just the bodies that I worry about.
Right. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night and have a great rest of the week. Until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon. See you guys.